Welcome back to the Garden and Lava Show. You will notice I'm standing. And I'm not in a chair today. And I just the only words I will have on this program about my gout issue is that I did just leave the doctor, and he told me I'll probably end up living to be over 100 with the way everything measures out as far as they're concerned, and so that means I can continue to possibly suffer gout attacks like this for another 30, 40 years, who knows. Great, huh? Great news. That, and I noticed a mosquito biting me in the ankle over here, and after he got done, he tumbled off, his legs swelled up, and he's laying there. Oh! Wouldn't that be funny if you could give gout to the mosquitoes? Anyway, enough of that. We have the Grumpy Gardener's Medicine Show, and that's where I hope to keep all of that information from now on. Won't be here anymore. But I am standing, and so we can get around the garden a little bit today, but I will start with the lava news. Actually, very little has really changed. Fisher number 8 is still being very productive. I believe they said up to 180 feet in the air. Last night from the house, I was in no mood to go out and take the night shots. Ellen did get a few, and I'll probably get some from her, but it was very spectacular, really beautiful from here. It's tragic, horrible, blah, 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 all this, but from here it was really something. Just the sky was fire red. Very interesting thing. Today I did head out front here onto the porch, and I shot the lays at the ocean entry, which is very clear and beautiful today. The air is clear, and we're having good air here. I also did a daytime shot of Fisher number 8 over there. Well, there's a current shot of the lays coming up from what used to be Kapoho Bay as the fishers spill into the Pacific Ocean. This is shot right here on my front porch. Daytime images of Fisher number 8 are not nearly as exciting as the evening ones, but you can see the white cloud coming up off of the lava fissure in the evening. That's bright red. It looks like a sunset. Halimau continues on really frequent intervals to have these 5.2, 5.4, 5.8 earthquakes that are basically just this huge shotgun blast of blowing rocks, dust, ash, and steam up out of what's left of the poor caldera. It's really caving in. So we don't know where that's going either. It is really starting to look like, though, that all activity is now moving down to the southeast. So I guess it'd be a good thing if the state does do the land swap that's been proposed to get people out of that area, because, hey, we can set up the new national park down there, right where my buddy Jimmy's house was in Leilani Estates, We'll have an observation deck over the top of Pu'u Jimmy, for everybody to enjoy, coming from all around the world to see our cute little volcanoes here in Hawaii. Usually they're really, really good for business here. Lately, not been so good. Yeah, traffic in the nursery is slowing down. And then, here's the weirdest one. And it's only been noted by our local meteorologists and, of course, Bill, who has his own meteorological station here. We have a weather station on the farm. And ordinarily, in the past, lower southeast Puna typically receives less rainfall than Mountain View, where I'm at. We'll usually go between, 120 and 160 inches of rain a year right in this area. And there are parts of Lower Puna that would only get about half of that. Now, some places down there get 122, but generally speaking, the southern edge of the island in that area is a drier zone. Mangoes won't fruit up here because of the rain, but they do fruit down there in places. And so that indicates a drier climate. Well, it's all over. What's happening, I noticed this, it was about 2 weeks back, where I'm reading my weather station in the morning, and then the guy comes on the local TV and starts doing the forecast, and he'll give the rainfall for down near Pahoa, down in the southeast. Well, for instance, one morning I read 0.33, 1/3 of 1 inch of rain had fallen in the last 24 hours here in Mountain View on our farm. At the same time, they had 2.5 inches of rain came down over there. Now, I've been watching this, and it's really consistent. The rain used to be here. The rain's not here much anymore. It's down there. And the weather guy, he put his finger right on it, and I felt so vindicated when he did it. Basically, it's the volcanic dust and gases seeding the clouds in Lower Puna. And it's causing droplets to condense, and it's raining like crazy over the top of all of that. And unfortunately, it's drying the air out by the time it moves upslope to us. And so I'm only receiving fractions of the rain I would usually receive before this started. And unfortunately, that brings me on into the nursery, because typically here, I don't have to water my nursery stock very much. Containerized plants grow easily in Mountain View because the rain will usually take care of it. Well, it's not happening anymore. Now, it's not the first time. I've dried out in the nursery before. Unfortunately, right now, it's it's corresponding with my leg not working very well, and so dragging hoses around here and watering is, at this point, right now for me, quite a chore, so I'm not very pleased about the lack of rainfall. I just got done dragging the hose here. We had a few wilters. I haven't gone up the slope to what I call the attic nursery. It's the upper level, because that's a real bear for me, even on a good day, to get up there with a hose. Pipes will be installed soon. So right there is where I'd like to start, and it has to do with container gardening. Container gardening has, for me, lately become something very important. I mean, I've always done container gardens because of the nursery. I've done nursery for decades. And one of the funniest things we ever hear in a nursery is somebody will walk up to you with a plant, and they'll go, "Bill, does this grow in a pot?" And I'll look at it and go, yeah, it looks like it's in a pot. I have a feeling it will grow in a pot. It's a funny question to ask a nurseryman, because everything in a nursery is in a pot. Does it grow in a pot? Well, does it grow easily in a pot, I guess, is the best question, really. And some things don't, so, it's legitimate, but I've always found it funny. Well, most things will. Now, large trees can be difficult over time, blah, blah. But today, my focus is, again, on vegetables in those containers and herbs in the containers, because with my foot being bum, getting actually out there into the main garden to pick green beans, or over here where the sweet corn's growing, I've had to send Ellen out to take care of all this, because I just can't hobble out there to do those basic, ordinary tasks that I do. Hopefully by next week, I'll be back to it. In the meantime, all the stuff I have in pots that's right outside my front door, right outside my back door, has become a blessing. I'm so glad that I did this. Now, we use containers here for a variety of reasons. I mean, well, of course, if you're on the lava, a container is a great idea. All right. I'm not in the lava, so we have soil, but still, I don't actually have soil right next to my house where I want something to grow, because when we made the house pad here, we dumped rocks and gravel and all kind of stuff. And so right along my house, I really haven't got the best soils. But yet I find some crops tend to raise better when they're under the eaves of my house on the south side, keeping the crops drier. They become less disease prone when I do that. So, for instance, a tomato plant on a trellis under the eave of my house pointing south in a container has a distinct advantage, usually, to the ones in the field. I don't get as many diseases on the leaves. It takes longer for the nematodes to work their way out of the soil and up through the drain holes and get into my containers to attack the tomato plants. So I get much longer development on them, because in the ground the nematodes will just start to cluster and really mess them up. And so, keeping water control, humidity control on plants, keeping out certain pests. And here in Puna, of course, leafy greens can be dangerous due to the rat lungworm issue. Well, containers that have copper bands around them, or some of those nifty little 9-volt slug fences that people are installing, anything that keeps the slugs out of the pot allows you to be able to grow nice, clean, leafy greens without having to worry about that issue. And so, quite a few reasons. The last reason for me is that I love to have some of this stuff right where I can grab it. You know, a simple step out of the kitchen, grab some chives, get some thyme, to get some basil, you know, maybe get some turmeric, get a piece of ginger, pick a few tomatoes, all that sort of stuff. If it's just 3 steps, 10 steps, 20 steps out of my kitchen door, it's a pretty good bet that I'm probably going to go ahead and use the material. If I have to walk halfway across this farm to be able to find it out there somewhere, on a bad day, if it's raining and my leg hurts, I am probably not going to do it. And so who knows what I'll eat for dinner instead. So we have control of moisture, control of varmints, replacing the lack of soil, and then we have convenience when we're using containers. So, since I am ambulatory and able to walk around some, and I just watered all my containers, how about we take a look? Right here, you can see this is a 20-gallon tree lug, and I have a band of copper running around it. On the inside, we've got some lettuce and some basil growing. There's also an eggplant over here. Another container right there behind it with a copper band. That's full of basil, and it also has some chilies. Over here we have a container that doesn't have the copper band, and that's because it's just eggplant, and eggplant's not an issue with rat lungworm. But I just kind of like to have a few eggplants right next to the kitchen, and also eggplants will decline from nematodes, and by using artificial soils in these containers, I have less nematode issues. Right over here we have, again, a mixture of lettuce, a chili, and cilantro. Here we have chilies. Over there, some red Russian kale. Cucumbers with marigolds back here. Right here, I have the ají dulce little chilies growing in this storage container, actually. It's like about a $5–6 Walmart job. These little chilies are great. They seem to fruit year-round here, and my kitchen door is right behind me, and so in the morning, if I'm scrambling up some eggs or something and I want a few peppers, just running right out here and grabbing a couple of these guys is very easy to do. Right here in these containers, I have snap peas going. With them, I have dill. Right over here, you can see some tomatoes. And even with the protection of the roof over the top, I'm still getting some leaf diseases in there from rain that blows through. But these are doing much, much better. They're also, again, right outside my kitchen door, so if I happen to need a tomato to put in my salad, I can just kind of run out here and grab one. Dragon fruit is back in the bud and bloom cycle here. I've got unopened buds on this one. Another one right there. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh, is this exciting? I am so excited. This is now the first flower to come on my orange dragon fruit. It apparently bloomed last night. We can hope that the moths got hold of that thing and did the pollen work. It's going into the wilt this afternoon. It appears to be a rather brightly colored flower too. I guess I'll have to watch for the next one to come at night and see what this really looks like. This is very exciting because it does mean that later on this year I'm most likely going to have seeds for orange dragon fruit available. Whoa, it is distinctly different. If anybody's curious here, take a look now. That's a yellow dragon fruit, commonly called Solenocerius megalanthus, also aka Hylocereus megalanthus. But you can see here by taking a look at the vine, you know, what it looks like. But right here is the orange dragon fruit. And this is a really skinny and long vine. You can see that one right there, how long and dangly they are. It's a very, very different plant. There's a side-by-side comparison, yellow dragon fruit and orange dragon fruit together. It has a similar tasting fruit. The fruit is not that different in quality and flavor, although it seems to be a little smaller than my yellows, but the plant is very different. I have yet to actually properly classify it. I don't really know what it is. Help! There you have it, lava and garden show for today. Hobbling around wasn't the most fun thing I ever did, but I'm able to do it. It'll get better every day. Hey, we might even walk way out to the back 40 over here and look at the pineapples again one of these days. I'm counting on it. Like I said, Doc told me he's probably going to live to be over 100 years old, so I don't want to have to put up with this foot for that long. Aloha, happy gardening. Happy lava viewing, and have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.